What up guys, this is Mo and today we're going again into a mini-series for project creation and so far we've managed to make a map with a couple of force fields that hurt the player when he touches them, as well as display graphical pronunciation of the damage that the user takes by pushing him back a little and flashing the screen red, as well as make a guard that could disable the force field, as well as re-enable it. So this time we'll be taking a look at a much more useful aspect of Phantasya, something that you'll find yourself using a lot of time when making your game. That is runtime event creation. That means pretty much in regular game making, what you see on the map is pretty much what you get. Like you see here, we have 4 events that we created before running the game, and once we run the game, that's all we'll get on the map. But sometimes, in a lot of times actually, you'll need more events, more objects that could appear after you started the game. But you can't have any possible object you want on the map and keep it outside of view all the time. Sometimes the ability to create your object in runtime just doesn't exist, and that's pretty bad for us. Luckily, Phantasya comes with the inherent ability to give you such an ability. You can create your events at runtime. You can give them code that they can process, just like a normal event. In actuality, everything you can do with a normal event, you can do with a runtime created event, and that's pretty damn useful when you need to make enemies on the map that aren't supposed to be there at the creation time. So, let's look at how we do that. First of all, to make an event at runtime, we'll need to have the graphics that we want to assign to it already set in the database. So let's go here and add a new graphic for a zombie. A zombie, which is an hybrid of a zombie and a bee, as you can see here. It's not a very big event, and that's okay, because it gives us the ability to check how many we can fit on a map. And little spoiler for you guys, Phantasya so far under the current testing can run about 200 or 300 events at the same time on the map without the slightest slowdown so far, and that's pretty impressive for a game engine that uses GUI to make your game. Other programs that you can find on the net could probably not reach such a high number without slowing down majorly. So, once we have the graphics set, we'll need an index to assign to the event, to the new event, so we can control it. But we'll show you another new way that you can do something like this without entering a new variable into the database, because sometimes just not the way that you'll want to go. Sometimes you'll only need an event and a variable for a very little part of the code, and it's going to be a mess. Just adding numerous variables that you're not going to use a lot of the time into the database. As well as event creation at runtime, we also have variable creation at runtime, and we can delete both variables and events at runtime as well to save space, just like you saw here with the delete event command. So let's decide that the time that we want to add a new event to the map is when we answer no to the options command that we set last time. So to do this, we'll go here and enter a new condition again. Under textual, input no. If the answer that the user gives is no, then we'll add code into this condition. What we'll do now is make a new variable. To make a new variable, you don't have a new command like you have one for create event. To make a new variable, you just go into the variables command like normally, but this time you'll check this box below. This box says that you want, in case that the variable that you're trying to write into doesn't exist, we want to create it and make it and edit it into our variable list at that point in time. We don't want the program to reject the code or anything. We just want to create it and use it from this point onward. So we'll check sorry about that. We'll check this box and give it a number. We'll give it 1337 as a number. The number that you give isn't very important, but it's not very important which number it is, but you should pay attention that you give it a number that's too high for any normal event to take place. You want to make it since if you'll use an event that's index is the same as one that we have already on the map, you might run into some trouble when trying to access an event of that index when you're trying to run commands on it. So we'll set it to a 4-digit number since we don't really need so many events on our map at one time. So we'll create this event and we'll call it, when you're trying to make a new event that doesn't exist, instead of choosing the event from the variable list, you'll need to add a name right here, and since it's not on the list, when that command is reached inside the game, at that point the variable will be created. So let's call it index. As you can see, we can access it through here, but if we'll type the name index at any point that we need to use the variable, they'll be equivalent to it being on the list if that's at the time that the variable existed in the game. So once we do this, we're ready to go into our new command, the create event command. This is a rather complicated command page, and we'll break it down into bits. So first of all, we have the index. The index is, just like I just explained, is the number that we'll use to access the code through different commands in the program. So it's not on the drop down box since we didn't make it in a database, but if we write index, which already existed at this point because we just made it, then the index that the event will use will be 1337. So after we do this, the next thing to do is choose a position for the event to be created on the map. We can use even a point variable that we don't have right now, or use an event location, and the new event will be created at one of these two positions. Let's tell it the event to be created on you know what, let's make a new event that'll spawn this event. Let's close this a little for now, and add one new event here with this graphic, sewer leaders of sorts, and give it the size. And now we have a new event on the map. Let's add it to below hovers. This event isn't really supposed to do anything. Its index is 5, as you can see, and we'll use this inside here when we're assigning the position. This means that our new event will be created at a point where event 5 is standing right now. Let's set index back and assign, and now the next part that we need to do is assign graphics to our new event. The size is 16/16 for the zombie, and we'll set a graphic from the drop down box that's gathered from inside our database. The number of frames we'll use is 8 and about 12 in animation speed. Dynamics, the physics isn't very important for RPG games, but when you're making your event in a platform-based game, this is very important. It makes it tells the event whether physics effects should affect it or not. The facing direction isn't very important right now, but just know that you can use it to make your event look at a certain direction when it spawns. And we'll set this to above others. And for now, we'll leave this part alone. Just know that you can assign code to the event that you just made. If you click here at assign code drop down box, you can see the various global events that we made. If you choose one, you'll be assigned into the new event we just made, and the code inside the global event would be transferred into the new event, which will treat it as its own code. And then we can set the activation method just like a regular event. But we'll leave this alone for now. Just make sure that everything works correctly. So we'll save and play. And go down here and talk to the guard. And once he asks the question again, we'll answer no. And as you can see, a new event has been created right here in the shape of the zombie that we just made. Now, what we can do with this is a lot of things actually. We can make this into a movable enemy. We can make various pickups that we can use, and we can use it as pretty much anything that we want. So for this manner right here, what we want to do is set up for later when we want to use the collision check command. We won't do it in this video, but we'll set everything correctly right now so we can use this existing code later to demonstrate a collision check. So right now, one more thing that you should know, right here we created the new variable, but what if we want to delete it? We have this command right here for delete variable. We'll give it the name just like we mentioned earlier, and when this part is reached, the variable will be deleted from our game, and since we don't need it anywhere else, and that saves resources from the CPU during runtime. You don't really need this most of the time since it doesn't make that much of a difference, but just know that it exists in case that you want to delete your variable, in case you don't need them anymore. Other than that, we have one more new command that we'll look into in this video, and that would be the moveset command under the move in graphics. The moveset command opens up the move commands dialog box, just like it does when you may add a new move command. But what the moveset command does, it adds to the moveset of an event. A moveset for an event is the automatic movement path that an event would take on your map. So if we set index number for the index variable, and we give the event the path of moving 4 up and 8 down and another 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So once we do this, the event would go 4 up and 8 down and then 4 up again, just like you would expect. But in addition to this, you'll keep moving constantly over and over again, even though it's not set into a part of the code and it's not stuck on this event. This event would keep running, the code inside the new event that we made for the zombie would keep running, but the zombie would move independently of these two. A move set is a set of moves, a movement path for an event that you'll take regardless of any other code. So you can set it to enemies and give them paths. You can set it to NPCs so they can move across your map in the way that you choose, and you can set the move path to pretty much anything that you want to make your events move in the manner that you want them to. You can go in circles, you can go in certain maze patterns or anything that you might want. And as you can see, our zombie is just moving up and down, so we can later try and shoot it down in the next video. So that should be enough for now, for this time, guys, and next time, like I said, we'll try more advanced commands. We'll look into the collision, into the move by angle command actually, before we can check the collision for anything. We need to make something that we can shoot, and in order to do that, we want to use something that we haven't seen so far, and that's the move by angle command. So I won't really mention any of it right now. I'll leave it to the next video that can go more in depth into it and explain like it should in no rushed manner. So for this time, guys, I hope you have a nice one.